So I wanted to go over, I saw this article on The Economist and I wanted to go over with you guys and basically talking about world capital spending and and I'll read it to you guys and we can just kind of analyze it. One reason why interest rates were cut to zero in the aftermath of the financial crisis was to encourage business to invest and thus boost the real economy. Companies have a hurdle rate for new investment. A project must offer a higher return than the hurdle rate. All other things being equal, lower financing costs should result in a lower hurdle rate, and thus more projects get approved. But the graph from Citigroup over on the right here shows that if one excludes energy and materials, global CapEx has been flat since the financial crisis of 2008. And the boom in energy and the materials investment owes much to the lingering effect of the commodities boom, which ended in 2011, and the development of shale and oil and gas. Now that oil price has plunged, many energy investment projects have been canceled. So why hasn't other capex gone up? An obvious problem is that the slow nature of the global recovery. Companies do not expect rapid growth, then they will lower the return forecast for any project they consider. Even though the financing cost has gone down, the number of potentially profitable projects may not have increased. So I will provide the link to you guys for this as well, but just wanted to mention the hurdle rate that they're talking about is very much to do what we're trying to study in this chapter, and they're saying that growth hasn't really increased. And this piece is saying is that another reason CapEx may not have increased is because it doesn't take as much to design a video game or build Facebook or iPhones. So that's why there isn't much capital investment. And that's why I think also the nature of projects is changing altogether. It's not just capital and like it used to be, I think 10 years, 20 years ago. It's just how much capital, how much CapEx are we going to put into something and what kind of cash flows is it going to throw off? As you see, CapEx investment in general has been kind of flat, and I think the reason being is that a lot of different types of assets are being deployed, like social media or online search, online advertising, as they're saying here, designing various applications, various computer infrastructures, video on demand, um, all these type of things in media and in devices like iPhones. So all these type of things, they're not requiring companies to invest as linearly as in the past. I don't think the equation to find out how profitable you are is as linear as this is when you're investing and this is what you're getting back. And I think it's a little bit more involved. I mean, this is good to understand how this math works and how the NPR and the IR work, and take that into consideration, and also look to other things that explain a project and the investments that is occurring. So I think in the realm of accounting, I think this is what we'll do our discussion on today, is what kind of roles accountants take on at their positions. And in general, accounting is a service industry, so it's totally not, wouldn't be subject to this kind of situation. But in the corporate world, what else is happening when you are creating a project and putting it forward? How does it affect the brand? Of course, how does it affect profitability? What kind of people are working on it? What kind of team are you going to need to really put it into place? And what kind of time is it going to use up? And what kind of resources is it going to use up to continue with our sustainability process from week one? I saw a really interesting thing about Patagonia. It's a clothing manufacturer, and I saw that they do an analysis, not just profitability, but also how much of a carbon footprint and how much of how many fuel miles traveled or material used up, and a product would generate before they even make it. So it's very interesting analysis to show another type of hurdle rate before moving forward is the environmental one. And I'm curious about also if they did a resource analysis on the people involved in the project and what that would contribute to the cost benefits and everything else around the project.